Well, the organisers have outdone themselves because I have just arrived at Hay Literature Festival and the weather is glorious. I'm here to see 3 events today. I'm here to see Emerald Fennell talk to Tom Allen about Wuthering Heights, her adaptation of Wuthering Heights, which I'm very excited for. I'm also going to see YouTube's very own Jack Edwards interview YM Abdul Majid about her book and my current read, At Sea. And I'm also going to see one of my favourite authors, Frederick Backman, talk about My Friends later this evening. So I thought you might like to come along too. I arrived about half an hour earlier than my friends were due to arrive because I thought I could do all of my wanky YouTube filming before my friends got here, but that has coincided with all of the schools getting ready to leave, so I will not be filming because there are hundreds of teenagers milling about. So I've got myself a very expensive coffee and I'm sitting in the sun instead. Howdy, it is the following morning and I am just fresh out of the gym, so very sweaty, but I thought I would just give you a wee roundup of how yesterday went, and the Cliff Notes version is that I had a gorgeous day. The weather was like perfect hay weather for mooching about and enjoying the atmosphere. So I mentioned, I think in a probably quite noisy clip, that where I kind of got there earlier than friends, so that I could do a bit of filming without being that annoying person when I was trying to be sociable as well. But it was a school's day because it was a Friday. And so there were just tons and tons and tons of school kids there until about 4 o'clock when my friends were due to arrive. So that plan didn't work out. So I had to sit and have a coffee and read. I mean, how awful. Yeah, so that was lovely. The Emerald Fennell talk about Wuthering Heights was outstanding. That was just so fascinating. And she was saying the last question, which is your typical last question in interviews like this, was, you know, what are you working on next? And she shared that actually she's come offline. She's having a break from doing work, and she's just stopped using social media and she's having a break for a year. So she was talking about like doing lots of jigsaw puzzle stuff. And honestly, like, she really sold it. Like, it sounds liberating, especially in our our times. So yeah, that was super great. And then I went to see Yasmin Abdul-Ageed talk about At Sea, which is my current read, and I just love that. So Jack Edwards stood her up. Where were you, Jack? But the interviewer that took his place was wonderful, did a really, really good job, and I just loved that talk. And what an immersive experience to listen to an author talk about the book that you're currently reading. It was just magic. And then at the end of the day, I got to see Frederick Backman interviewed by Purna Bell, like two of my favourite authors. And it was such an interesting interview. It was not your typical author interview. I think, like he said this himself, Frederick Backman's actually quite an awkward person in real life. But Purna did such an amazing job at connecting with him, and they talked about their shared experiences with depression and losing loved ones by suicide, and it was just incredibly real and incredibly poignant, and so much more meaningful than some of the other kind of like than your typical kind of like author talk, like, you know, tell us about your method. It did so much more than that. So it was a really, really special day all in all. Purchases were made. I got some lovely Hay Festival postcards. This is the artwork for Hay this year. A dragon, which is super cute, with all the tents and the bunting and the flags. So got some of those. I picked up one of these lovely Bore cards. That means hello in Welsh, good morning. And I got some other bookish cards, super cute. I bought 3 books, which I thought was very reserved. When I got home and asked my partner how many books do you think I got, I think he started in the teens. So I was quite proud of myself. I picked up The Life of Rebecca Jones by Angharad Price. This is about a woman in the 20th century in rural Wales, and it's a kind of point in time where things are starting to progress. And she's like, her reflections are kind of like worries about losing their kind of like way of life. Yeah, I've heard really good things about this, so looking forward to that. I picked up Queen of the Rushes by Alan Wren. Alan Wren is a female Welsh author. I've read, she's written other classics. A Welsh Witch by her. Hang on. There's a lovely photo of her in the front of this. Let me show you. Doesn't she look amazing? I mean, what an absolute queen. The blurb on this doesn't actually say what it's about. It says it's an important novel, and then it talks about the author, which is fine, but I really enjoyed A Welsh Witch by her, so I've got every faith that this is going to be just as good. And I also picked up It Might Not Be True by Francesca Rhydderch. This is a memoir about her experience of chronic illness and not being believed, and again, I've heard only good things about it. So those are my modest 3 purchases from the bookstore. I also picked up some tea from Bird and Blend. This is Campfires and Vampires, and it says it's got wafts of cinnamon, rose and cloves in this gently spiced green tea. It smells delicious. So excited to try that. So yeah, super day. I did have one reflection, and that is in the bookshop. So obviously Hay is in Wales. It's one of the biggest literature festivals in the country, arguably in the world. It's huge. And so it's a really amazing opportunity, don't you think, to really promote all of the richness of Welsh literature. And you might be thinking, well, you picked up 3 books by Welsh authors there, Kerry. I don't know if I said that. They're all 3 Welsh authors. What are you on about? And they had, you'll have seen from the footage, they have a section that's like books from Wales. They have a small section in the bookshop that has books from Wales. But not all of the Welsh authors were in that section. And I take real issue with that, because there were some amazing authors featured in the bookshop. So I'm not even saying like you should be bringing more in. I'm saying all of the Welsh authors in that bookshop should be also in that section of books from Wales, because, you know, you've got people coming from all over the country, all over the world to attend this literature festival. That's our moment to really show off all of the fantastic authors that come out of Wales. And you're kind of like letting that moment pass you by because you're not highlighting them all. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, is it a deliberate decision? I'm not sure why it would be a deliberate decision. Is it that the person who curates the bookshop doesn't know, in which case that's not good enough? Is it that they don't care? Is it because it felt a little bit like somebody Googled Welsh authors and just put some of that there? Yeah, I just, like Jenny Evans, who's just been longlisted for the Women's Prize, her book was in the shop, but not in the Welsh section. Anthony Shapland, just been shortlisted for Wales Book of the Year and was at Hay last year. His book was in the bookshop, not in the Welsh section. Like, what? I don't understand. I was actually having this rant as we were walking around, and my friend was like, Kerry, you should put post-its on the wall. And honestly, if I'd have had post-its, I'd have been tempted. Anyway, sorry to end on a rant because actually I had the best day. We had such a lovely time. And if you haven't ever been to Hay, I can't recommend it enough. It is pure magic. It's pure magic to mooch about. It's pure magic to soak up. There's something so incredibly special being a bookish person in an environment like that and just being surrounded by people reading. Like, everybody is just like having a rest on a bench with a book. Everybody is like hanging out on the grass reading. Everybody is like queuing with their books in front of them. Like, it's like coming home, for book folk. You feel surrounded by and immersed with like your people, and there's something really incredibly special about that. So if you ever get the chance to go, I can't recommend it highly enough. And also let me know and tell me what you're going to see, because I will get FOMO. All right, I think that's all from me today. I hope you're looking after yourself, and I'll see you again in another video.